why hybrid working is good for Indian employees. These are insights for HR managers. Namaste and welcome. Today's topic is why hybrid working is good for Indian employees. These are insights for HR managers. Nowadays, the most common question HR managers are being asked, what is your flexible work policy? Your future employees are weighing up your flexible hybrid work policy to make a decision to accept a job or not. And in India particularly, it is at the crux of the staffing challenge. वो जानना चाहते हैं कि क्या आप कुछ दिन पर भी उनको घर से काम करने की इजाजत देंगे? During COVID, we were forced into a remote working environment. But post-COVID, we have evolved into a modified work era really. आपको याद होगा 70s में फोकस तब हुआ था कि सब एम्प्लॉयज को इकट्ठा बिठाना है. At one time, there were three things in the 70s that was most important. Efficiency, standardization, and of course, hierarchy. We remember the hierarchy कि मैनेजर के लिए सिलेंडर उठा के लेके जाओ, कुछ काम करो, घर का काम करवा के दो. That hierarchy was very, very prevalent in the 70s. And then in the 90s, it was more about flexibility, amenities, and less hierarchy. I remember in my working life in the 90s, I used to think about, I will join this company, but do they have office parties on the weekend? क्या special food vouchers मिलते हैं या कहीं पे जाने के लिए special discounts मिलते हैं? Well, वो था 90s का ज़माना. अब in the 21st century, it is all about interactivity, mobility, and it all boils down to effectiveness. So, what is hybrid work? The definition on Google says it is a blend of in-office, remote, and on-the-go work schedules that offer employees autonomy to choose where to work and how to work that can be most productive for them. So currently in India, hybrid working is very popular with employees and some employers. So to recap, what is the definition of hybrid work? Hybrid work is a flexible work model that supports a blend of in-office, remote, and on-the-go work. It offers employees the autonomy to choose to work wherever they want and however they want so that they are most productive. Hybrid working has its advantages for employees as well as employers. For employees, it means flexibility, less travel, more employee satisfaction, and even better mental health. For employers, it means retention of talent, increased productivity, less presenteeism, and savings on office costs. Everybody wins. Well, in an employee experience survey conducted by Qualtrics, 91% of Indian employees working in the hybrid mode showed better engagement than those in full-time remote or full-time office work arrangement. 91%. क्या ये evidence काफी नहीं है to show employers and HR managers that hybrid working may be the future of work? पर नहीं, ऐसे भी employers हैं जिनको हाइब्रिड बिल्कुल नहीं अच्छा लगता. उनको चाहिए कि सारे वर्कर्स फिर काम पर ऑफिस में आ जाएं. Would this sometimes be part of the social conditioning of the feudal systems in India? कहते हैं ना कि जमींदार चले गए लेकिन दिमाग से जमींदारी नहीं गई. What I am talking about is the prevalent feudal system in India that still exists in our villages and rural areas. That there is a hierarchy, there's a pyramid, there's a hierarchy, and the people at the bottom of that pyramid are the oppressed, the employees, the farm workers, and they have to be kept an eye on or made to work hard with constant vigilance from the business or landowners. I bring that context to my thinking of many managers who may be protesting against hybrid work, thinking, employees are lazy, resting at home, not working enough, and they need to be brought into office to be kept a watch on so that they can perform most. But those employers and managers need to think about things like presenteeism, what I mentioned earlier. What is presenteeism? Presenteeism is a phenomenon where the employee is physical at his or her desk, physically present, looking at the computer screen and appearing to do the work, but mentally 1,000 miles away, thinking about some issue and not focusing on work. Really, guys, presenteeism is a real issue that costs the organization thousands of rupees in loss of productivity. Then again, an ambitious and hardworking employee starts getting more choices of flexible work. Retaining talent might become a huge problem for some of these companies who are resisting hybrid work. In saying this, we must also acknowledge the reality of some of the challenges of hybrid working. In an employee experience survey conducted by Qualtrics, it was revealed that frontline workers were unhappy, poorly supported, and least trusting, with only 77% satisfied with their compensation or reimbursement, and only 72% felt empowered to challenge conventional work methods. In fact, recently an HR manager had a consultation with me about an employee who was struggling to maintain a healthy work-life balance. This employee was a 35-year-old young man, very good at his work, a data science engineer who lives in a small room with 3 members of his family in Kurla, Mumbai, India. He has an old grandfather who is really sick and needs help. Also, there's a lot of traffic noise in the area. Since COVID, this young man was working remotely, and through most of his teammates after COVID have joined back, he has been really reluctant to physically come into office due to his grandfather's health. The issue is that he is not able to focus during team meetings as he is reluctant to switch on his video due to his small room surroundings. And at the same time, the other team members struggle with all the background noise that comes through when he's talking or explaining his work. Well, the HR manager said to me, I understand both points of view. There is so much pressure on me from the management to get him to physically come into work. But I worry that we will lose him and he may actually resign. He's a very talented young man and has now been with the organization for around, 3 years. So recruiting a new person will be costly and painful, but also a severe blow to the speed of the work that is currently happening. What can I do? How can I handle this in a way that everybody wins? Tough one. We discussed all the angles, the interests of all the stakeholders, the company, the employee, the team, and finally came up with a plan to offer a hybrid working environment where 1 day a fortnight, this young man would come to work for 5 hours. At that time, he would have most of his meetings. Additionally, the HR manager was also able to get a bit of a budget to buy a small pod, a pod with noise cancelling. That kind of pod was installed into his house so that the employee could cut out all the noise around him and still attend some of the meetings that he needed to. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, it was a win-win situation. But what it took was an empathetic HR manager, someone who really thought about the employee but also thought about the company, to work with all the stakeholders and come up with a winning solution. That, my friends, is optimum human resource emotional intelligence. That which makes HR managers a unique tribe of people who are at the axis of successful organizations. And about Hybrid working, what can I say? In my opinion, this is what the future looks like to me. For employees to have the flexibility so they can begin to have a work life balance, and employers to see high rates of productivity from well engaged and committed employees. That is all for today. Please send me your likes, comments, and questions. I get very excited when I hear from all of you. Until then, this is B. Mahimkar signing off with the words I truly believe in. Employee wellness leads to successful business. Thank you.